One last check before we start. Looks good to me.
All right.
Okay.
Hey everybody, it's Craig Egan and my very special guy, Adam McKinney.
Hi everybody.
Hey. So we just wanted to do one check-in before the final day tomorrow. We are currently in Billings, Montana, which actually is a very nice town.
It is very nice. Hustle and bustle downtown.
Yeah, it's the first town we've been in where I actually had decent cell reception. So it's been good.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to realize that the entire country does not serve your cell phone needs.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we were thrilled to come into Billings and for my phone to suddenly turn on for the first time in 4 years.
We get this wild rush of messages on our phones blowing up as soon as we hit town. Yeah. So it's been great. Yesterday we were in Bozeman, and we were there for a few hours at the stories portion where they're at the park, and everyone was like overwhelmingly nice to us.
Yes.
Some people brought us lunch. The Vaxxed crew went out of their way to make sure that we were welcome, or at least there was no hostility.
Which they've been doing this entire trip, it should be said.
Yeah, it should be said, yeah. For all of our differences, and again, I don't want it to make it seem like we're all buddy-buddy now, because I still think they're dangerous. They're on a dangerous mission, and they're putting kids in jeopardy.
Yes.
But again, there's also little kids running around where we're sitting there at the park, and so there's no need for people to be yelling at each other and hostile towards each other and hating each other.
Yes, in general, this could have been a more aggressive, uncomfortable trip than it has been, and so we're thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. All the way up until Del Bigtree showed up.
Yes.
So the producer of the movie, one of the producers, Del Bigtree, and one of his henchmen. I say henchman. He was just a dick.
He's to be fair, come on, he's not a henchman. He's a lackey.
He's a lackey. He was a lackey. They showed up, and things just kind of went south. So I think his name was Jimmy. I want to say it was Jimmy. Now, I had been warned by people that another one of Del's lackeys, this Josh Coleman, really liked to harass people, really liked to get up in people's faces. He harassed Paul Offit, he harassed Senator Penn. This is the guy that they were warning me about, who apparently is not on this tour. He's off doing some sort of freedom, libertarian bullshit in California right now. So Jimmy came up to talk to us and was immediately a dick.
Yes, he approached, and I'm going to say this because I'm as unbiased a friend of Craig as you can find, and I was there, and we were walking to the car. Jimmy, we're calling him, although I don't remember getting his name, approached us and he said he was with Del Bigtree, and the first things out of his mouth were to identify that this was Craig. Hey, right. Craig, I hear that you want to get up in Del's face while he's here, and so we're going to do an interview with you guys, and it's going to be on camera. Very curt, just like that. Then he walks away.
He didn't ask me if I wanted to be on camera. He didn't ask me if I wanted to have an interview. And throughout this whole trip, the times I had spoken to Anu, for instance, he was like, hey, if you want to, we would like to have you on the bus. We would like to interview you. It's up to you. Think about it. But this guy, there was no thinking about it. He was like, you're going to be on camera arguing with Del, 5 minutes. Be there, right? And it was just kind of like, okay, maybe not. I don't know.
The tenor of his message was, hey, you think you're such a big shot? Well, we're here to call your bluff, bro.
Yeah, right.
And to a certain extent, he felt like a dark mirror image of me, because just in the way that he's the lackey to Del, I am your lackey. Right. He was the only person smoking at the park except for me.
Yeah.
And just like I will sometimes do, he was wearing a sport coat in 90-degree weather, just like an asshole would.
Right, yeah. So he comes up smoking his cigarette, and he's like, you're going to be on with Del. And I'm like, I don't know. So we went and found some shade. It was warm out, and we were just kind of sitting there.
And Craig was already having misgivings about going on camera with Del.
Yeah.
And for my part, I was pushing him to do it, but you had misgivings, which turned out to be immediately confirmed.
Yeah, yeah. Because I the whole time I'm like, you know what? They're going to get me on camera, and then they're going to try to play some sort of gotcha game with me, or they're going to try to corner me. They're going to try to ask me some weird obscure fact, and then you don't know, do you? You don't know what you're talking about,
But thankfully that's not what happened, right?
No, that's exactly what happened.
Oh, is that exactly what happened?
Yeah, this is exactly what happened. So before I even had a chance to talk to Dell, or even contemplate whether I wanted to do it or not, Jimmy was back over there, all up in my grill. So he gets over there and he starts in with some stuff, and is basically like, that vaccines have never been safety tested ever for anything. And I'm like, really? No, that's the stupidest line I've ever heard, right? And so I'm like, that's clearly not true. And if you're just gonna throw that out there, I'm gonna tell you that's not. And he's like, show me a safety study right now. And I'm like, no.
My phone doesn't work, Jimmy.
Yeah, number one.
Well, mine does. Want me to look it up for you? It was real, not even passive aggressive, but aggressive, douchey, jock bullshit.
Yeah, he was being a dick.
Yes.
Yes, he was being a dick. So if I'd thought a little quicker on my feet, but I didn't. Of course, hindsight, you think about all the great responses you could have made at the time. But in the moment, I was just like, really, man? Everything had been going so well, and now you're going to pull this on me? But if I'd thought about it, I would have asked him. I'm like, sure, no problem. First, I want you to get on your phone and look up the post that you referred to where I said I wanted to get in Dell's face. Because there's no such post. That's made up out of thin air. He would not have been able to find it. He made it up. And really, that would have driven home the point that I don't need to jump through hoops for you, the guys in my face making shit up. You don't get to just come up to me. I don't think you fucking shit, man. You don't get to come up to me and make some crazy statement, and then I've got to go do research on my phone immediately on the spot, or you win. Come on.
Because he threw out 3 things right in a row that would take time to look up separately. Hepatitis B vaccine had 2 trials, one for 4 days and one for 5 days. Meanwhile, did you know that Viagra had a 10-year safety trial?
Right.
And all of these things, and it's like, what are we talking about again?
Yeah. And so I told him repeat. I says, you know what? I'm not going to do this. If you want me to look up stuff on my phone, I'm not going to. If you want to send me your claims via, Facebook, I would be happy to research them, formulate my response, make sure it's right, and respond to you. But I'm not going to just do it sitting under a tree at a park. If you want to have a normal discussion, like normal adults, we can have that. I'm happy to have that right now. But don't sit there and play these stupid games with me.
Yeah, and so Jimmy and a couple of the other Vax people left after that, and I'm sure slam dunked and high fived and stuff.
Yeah, he made some snide remark as he left and said, "Oh, just go spend your GoFundMe money then." Yeah. Okay, why don't you go spend your GoFundMe money? You guys made $22,000 on a GoFundMe. You guys have a fucking merch desk. You know what I mean? You're selling t-shirts. Don't piss on me because a bunch of people chipped in $20, $40, $50 so I could go follow you around and expose your bullshit. But whatever. So at that point, we decided we were gonna go do a follow-up video, which I did and posted, but we didn't have any cell, we had no service, so we had to head over to a Starbucks to try to get a little bit of Wi-Fi. And so the next event was going to be a cocktail party and movie screening.
Followed by a Q&A.
Followed by a Q&A, and it was supposed to go from 5 o'clock to 9:30. Mm-hmm. And I will totally take... we decided not to go. And we decided not to go for 2 reasons. Number one is that we fully expected they weren't going to allow us to go. And to their credit, the Vax team, the local organizers, Polly, everybody said, no, absolutely, you can come to the cocktail party. We'd love to have you there. You can come talk to us. You can ask any questions you want. And that kind of took us by shock. And we were pleasantly surprised, but we'd also already booked a hotel 2.5 hours away to the next city because we did not expect they were going to let us go. And so we contemplated. Go ahead.
But before the encounter at the park, we were still planning on
trying
to attend.
Yeah, we were going to try to go. We just figured they were going to turn us away at the door.
We were excited by the novelty of it at the very least.
Yeah, for sure. So we were thinking about going. We were actually where can we go get a shirt and tie just so we're not underdressed, you know? And so, but he kind of squashed that. And then also the idea of being stuck in a room for 4 hours with Jimmy and Dell cornering me, and then I'm stress drinking, and then all of a sudden I'm on a highway going 80 miles an hour for 2.5 hours to Billings. It just seemed like a bad plan. So we decided to respectfully decline.
Yeah, they had sort of soured our experience, and we had already seen a microcosm of what would probably happen. You know, with just Jimmy and a couple other Vax supporters surrounding Craig in a park. Then the thought of like 100 people in an Elks Lodge or wherever. Like,
yeah, I was going to be real outnumbered real quick.
Yeah.
So we decided to take the safe route. We headed on to Billings, where we are now. And so tomorrow is going to be an event in Billings. They're going to do kind of the same, not a cocktail party, but they're going to do a day in the park where they get the people to come and picnic. They got their backstories. They got the bus there. And then at night they're going to do a screening and Q&A. I think we're just going to go to the first part because we've got about a 13-hour drive ahead of us that we're trying to split up into 2 days. If we go to the screening, we're not going to be able to get into it in tomorrow, and so I don't want to drive for 13 hours on Tuesday or whatever day we're getting home. So we're going to go there tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be the last stop of this leg of the tour. We're going to go home for a month. We'll be able to regroup. We've learned a lot on this. We've got some real good ideas for the second half of the tour. It's now late August. In about a month, we're going to be going to Kansas. We're going to be going to Missouri. We're going to be going to Ohio. Ohio? Iowa. I got Iowa.
And Minneapolis.
And Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's probably where we're going to end. So we're going to go home. We're going to construct new signs. I'm going to put together maybe a binder of information that I can reference immediately when somebody tries to pull bullshit like Jimmy did. And we're gonna go into round 2 a little more prepared and learned a lot from this adventure. I do want to thank my special guy Adam.
Well, thank you, Craig,
for coming on this tour with me.
And I like to think of you as my special guy too.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. We're having a couple of drinks, and I wanted to make this clear: the anti-vax haters out there, they kind of seem to think that I'm an alcoholic, and that's really not true. I like to have a few beers or a few drinks while I'm talking about vaccines on the YouTube.
It helps.
It helps, and also it really pisses them off. I love to push their buttons, but as Adam can attest, I'm really not that much of a drinker.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, he's a raging alcoholic.
I have a bad problem, guys. Why aren't you coming to my aid?
Yeah, and but beer and booze, it just really isn't my thing on a regular basis.
Yeah, Craig just smokes weed constantly.
Yeah, a lot of weed.
Yeah,
I smoke a lot of weed, but I didn't bring any with me because I knew that the vax people were going to try, or not the vax people, but the anti-vaxxers online were going to try to send the state patrol after me to bust me for a couple of joints or something.
No, that doesn't seem like the sort of thing they'll do. They like keeping it civil and not attacking you as a person.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't know why you would be worried about that.
Yeah, thanks Suzanne Orgine or whatever your name is. I think her real last name is Roth, but fuck her. Anyway,
all right.
So here's to the haters who hate us and are going to hate us no matter what. They're going to call us cowards for not debating Jimmy and Del, and that's fine because they're going to call us names no matter what we do. And that's the awesome thing about dealing with anti-vaxxers is they absolutely positively hate and attack every single thing I do, so I don't have to give any thought at all to what I do because it doesn't matter. It's great. Yeah.
And if you ever want to thumb wrestle me at any point, I'm down.
Oh, yeah.
You
want to have a karaoke contest, brah? Bring it.
Yeah. I do a mean Roy Orbison.
He does do a mean Roy Orbison, and a very nice Roy Orbison, depending on his mood. So I'm going to have a little more Mickey's fine malt liquor. This guy, he's just killing the 15-year-old girl drinks over here.
Guess what? Because Mike's harder.
Yeah, Mike's is harder, yeah. Thanks to everybody who out there has been supporting us and watching. Thanks to everybody who helped with the GoFundMe. Thanks to the radio and newspaper reporters that have given us coverage and shout-outs. Thanks to the haters who always keep it interesting. Metrosexual abomination was one of the comments, and I love it. Oh my god, I might get that tattooed across my...
Metrosexual abomination made my fucking month. I think.
Yeah, that was the best insult I think I've gotten so far from anybody. So we'll be in Billings tomorrow morning. We're going to hang out with the Vax crew. We got my protest sign, try to talk to some passerbys, and then we're going to get on the road. We're going to get home and get back out there in August.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we got to get back into town because our girlfriends
Greg, stop it.
I know, are waiting for us. But and we don't want to leave them hanging too long. But it's been a great trip.
It's been a very fulfilling one for me.
Yeah.
And I think you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. Okay. Yeah. All right. Namaste, everybody. See you in a little bit. Check in tomorrow. Peace.